How can you stop rust from seeping through primer? Well, you got to make sure to sand the rust out first, number one. Okay. Then you treat it with like a vinegar water or a navel jelly. Okay. Then you scuff that and then you prime it. Primer primer will seal and cover rust. It shouldn't bleed through if you sand it out. You got to sand the red out. You got to get all that out first. You can shoot epoxy primer over it first, and then you could put a 2K filler primer. But if it's a little bit of surface rust, your 2K filler primer will cover it with no problem. What's your opinion on water-based paint? I mean, I think it's fine. You know, if you want to use water-based, use it. I'm not using any water-based. It takes longer to dry. Sometimes you got to put heaters on it and all that. I mean, still a lot of the body shops around here in Hawaii, I would say 70% of them are not using water-based. It's just a green friendly marketing gimmick type of thing. I mean, there's still solvent in the paint. You know, it's not completely free of solvents. But it is what it is. I don't use a lot of it. Same ways of spraying it. It just takes a little bit longer to dry. Okay, I've read you have to do coats of clear within the hour from each other and typically 20 minutes or so, but I did clear 20 hours later and it looks even better than it did. Is it true it will likely come off? Well, 20 hours later is pretty much, you know, your initial coat is pretty much cured up. I don't think it's going to flake off. I mean, you're still within a 24-hour window of paint really curing, but it's not recommended to do that. It's really, you know, clear coating should be done in one session. So if you're laying clear coat, usually it takes 20 to 40 minutes to go around a paint job on a car or whatever, give or take. You're going to want to let that flash for 30 minutes or so, and then you give it your second coat. Okay, 2 medium heavy coats is pretty much the way to go with clear coat. So I kind of don't like what you did there, but you already did it. And you're saying it looks good, so good luck on that. Hopefully it lasts a long time. Tony Anderson, I've got some scratches on my 2019 Ford Fusion. I wet sanded the scratches. So do I respray the clear coat after cleaning and tacking, or do I need to spray some sort of base coat first? If your scratch went down to metal, you may have to you're going to have to feather that out. And if you feather it, you're going to get down to even more metal, which is going to require primer and base coat and clear coat. If your scratch is deep and you don't want to sand down through the metal by feathering, you could fill it with glaze putty, polyester putty, block sand it flat, but then you're going to have to prime that. Okay, you're going to have to prime it because you normally don't want to paint directly over a glaze putty or any type of putties. But if it's a small scratch like that, you can get away with it really, but it's not really how to really do it, but you can get away with it. So you should put a little bit of primer on that, block sand that flat, and then put some base coat on it and then clear coat it. But if your scratch was only a clear coat scratch, most times, if it's not that deep, you could just sand it with 1500 to 2000 grit and just buff it out. You'll just melt the clear coat and buff it out. You don't necessarily have to paint it. And we show you all of that in VIP as well. Tony Anderson, I think you're VIP. Also purchased the Atom X88, and I just got the material. I got it in the mail yesterday. Awesome. Cool, man. It's a low volume, low pressure gun. So what PSI should I be spraying out with this gun? So if you're going to be doing automotive paint job, it's still a low volume, low pressure spray gun, but you're going to want to spray, you know, between 22 to 26 pounds coming out. I've sprayed clear coat with 18 pounds on this moped project, and it came out really nice just to reduce overspray. But if you're not worried with overspray, you can spray at, I would go higher, because the higher your air pressure, the more atomization you're getting, right? The finer particles, the more your clear coat's going to flow out. So I would go, you know, anywhere from 24 to 26 pounds when spraying out of that gun. Okay. But if you have to spray at a lower pressure, you can. It's not gonna, not gonna hurt it that much, but I wouldn't go lower than 18. Okay. You want to be in the 20 to 22. Um, and if you're not worried about overspray and you just want to have a nice flow out, 25, 26 pounds. Trigger pulled. All right. And that's what we're going to be doing to test the project. So yeah, I mean, this is super glossy. Go-to product for undercoat spraying wheel wells for 4x4. I would use a Raptor liner. I like Raptor liner. Had a lot of success with it. Good results. Durable. It's on the front end of my grill of my the Good Van project that we did. It's right there. Raptor. I got it on eBay. It's pretty cheap. Raptor liner. Comes with a little gun that you can use. Great for bed lining, under wheel wells, classic cars underneath the frames and all that. If you want to do, it's all good. It is the acrylic urethane, a one step, and can you clear on top of it? Yes. So acrylic, any type of single stage acrylic or synthetic enamel, is one step. Basically, you mix your paint with hardener. Okay, you do need an activator, sometimes reducer, and you put two to three coats on it, and you're done. You don't have to put clear coat on top of it because the clear coat is mixed into it. Okay, what you can do if you want is mix some urethane clear on the side. Your basic clear coat, and dump it into your last coat to have more clear coat to it. You could do that, or you could clear coat on top of it, but that's going to be a lot of paint because you're normally putting 2 to 3 coats of enamel, and then if you put a coat of single clear coat on it, that's just a lot when it's really not necessary. So hopefully that helps you out, Terry. Put on last coat single stage, have some minor defects, 2 runs, some maybe dirt specks, and some minuscule pits and bumps. Try to remove with McGuire. So Mark, single stage. Well, did you sand it? Because if you're going to be buffing, you need to make sure you're at least sanding it down with 1500 grit to 2000 grit to get rid of your runs, and your dirt or whatever is in it, and then you buff it out. So I mean, you pretty much are doing, the recommended procedure. If you have issues, is basically sand it out. Okay, well, you're going to have to sand it out if you haven't sanded it out. So Gail just said he didn't sand. So yeah, you're gonna have to make sure you block sand, wet sand it out, your runs, and we show you all of that in VIP. So Gail, if you're not a VIP, bro, check out Learn Auto Body and Paint. Grab this free guide here, and check out the special offer that we have on VIP. There's over 250 hours of step-by-step videos. We show you custom painting with pearls, flakes, single stage, 2-stage, 3-stage, candies, pearls, flakes, everything. We show you everything, body work. And this is going to be one of the next projects that's fully detailed in VIP as well. We're going to be putting it on YouTube as well, but can I use adhesion promoter before clearing due to time it took to stripe new paint job? Can I use adhesion promoter before clearing due to time? No. So if you're striping a paint job, no, you're never going to put adhesion promoter on a base coat and then clear coat. No, you're just going to leave it. You're going to do what you want to do. Okay. Do your striping, do whatever. And then you put clear coat on top of it. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Tony, I know you use feather fill. Have you ever used slick sand? What's the difference? I have not used slick sand. I think it's a similar product. I'm not into feather fill. I'm not into all of that. I like to get my body work down smoother, so all I need is a 2K filler primer that fills my sand scratches down, and then basically getting that down and then using that as a foundation for base coat, clear coat. I don't like to get that shit it's just nasty, clogs up your gun. You need to be spraying out of a 2.0 tip size. It's just nasty stuff. Like, I don't know why people even like that stuff. Just do your body work a little bit, just get it down a little bit more. It doesn't take much time. I don't see the benefit in using in going and having course and finishing with a 80 grit and then spraying feather fill on it. Like, why not just go down to 150 and then use a good 2K filler primer? Doesn't make any sense to me. How do you recommend to cut a quarter panel for replacement? Cutoff wheel. Exactly. So you're going to use a cutoff wheel, or depending on how you're going to replace the quarter panel, you got those drill bits that basically drill out the welds. I have them, but I'm not going to go looking for them now. But some quarter panels, the way they're set, you're going to be basically drilling these out, okay, to basically split your panel so you can take it off. But this is like in here, you would be drilling these out, okay, and then looking inside, cutting. Tesla's built a little bit different, but you might be using an air hammer to cut metal, to get into spots to cut, and then tacking your new panel on and welding your new panel on. But overall, cutoff wheel works really well. All right, guys. Do you use panel bond in between the two panels? You can, and you don't have to. If you're welding it, you don't need panel bond. But if you're going to be using the bond solely without welding, you use the panel bond. It depends on what method you're doing. If you're welding, you're not going to be putting panel bond in between. If you're welding, you need metal and metal to be, touched together. So there's a few ways to do it. Panel replacement, you could bond it all together and that's it. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be back next week, same time.